Hello, my name is Flora. I'm from Austria, I'm 18 years old, and I'm a journalist for the Committee on Foreign Affairs.
The Russian President Vladimir Putin announced on the 18th of March 2014 that the Crimea had been annexed by Russia. As Ukraine is at a crossroad between the East and the West, how can Europe best support the building of a stable state that can ensure peace and prosperity in the region?
So what are the causes of the escalation in the conflict between Ukraine and Russia? In March 2014, Russia's President Putin announced that Crimea had been annexed by Russia. In April, pro-Russian activists stormed government buildings in eastern Ukraine. Many of them were armed, which led to an escalation in the tense standoff between Ukraine and Russia. In both cases, Russian politicians and media portrayed Kiev leaders as Ukrainian nationalists, bent on violating Russian speakers' rights. The installation of a pro-Western government after the overthrow of former President Yanukovych, who was Moscow-friendly, further enraged pro-Russian separatists. Parallels to the events in Crimea can be found. Well-trained pro-Russian soldiers operate without insignia on their uniform or vehicles. It was only later in Crimea that Russia revealed their true identity and nationality. After a referendum, rebels declared independence of Donetsk and Luhansk without recognition of the West and Ukraine. However, eastern Ukraine differs from Crimea insofar that it is a far bigger area to control, and of course that the population does not uniformly consist of Russian speakers. Now the question is, how can Europe best support the building of a stable state that can ensure peace and prosperity in the region? And how should Russia's violations of international law be sanctioned? While the NATO and especially the US provide Ukraine with non-lethal military equipment and military advice, the EU helps with a wide-ranging economic support package. The Kremlin struck back with a full embargo on certain food imports from the EU, threatening to harm the agricultural sector. Plus, many European countries still buy a lot of their gas supply from Russia, and Finland, Estonia, Lithuania and Latvia are still completely dependent on Russia on their gas. So of course they see the events in Ukraine with great concern. According to a UN report, more than 2,000 people were killed and more than 5,000 wounded since mid-April. Of them, more than 100 civilians in Donetsk alone. 155,000 people have fled elsewhere in Ukraine, and even more have gone to Russia. So AFET's task will be to find a way to make Ukraine a safe country again.